What happened?
I was in Vietnam in 1968. I arrived on January 19th, 1968, with the United States Marine Corps, and I was in a town called Quezon. Son. The night that I got, or 36 hours after I arrived in Vietnam, I was in a company area, and they were dropping mortar rounds in on us at night, and a fellow behind me got scared, jumped up, and accidentally pulled the trigger on his rifle. The rifle was 3 inches from the back of my head when it went off, and it wound up blowing away my mandible. My jaw was gone. I came back to the Naval Hospital in Portsmouth, Virginia, and they did reconstructive surgery at that hospital for the next 19 months. When I came back, disfigured the way I was, my whole life was changed. I was 18 years old, and I had no lower face. And I was treated a whole lot differently by society. Not because I was in Vietnam, because they didn't know that. But I was disfigured. I wasn't like everybody else. That's why I'm so glad that I'm here at Off Smile, because I can relate to these children and the plight that they're going to have dealing with their physical deformities for the rest of their lives. And if we can help 50% of them, that's a great idea. Yeah, so I thought, well, that's probably the way it is with babies. You know, they don't know that they're not going to be accepted as well as other people until they get a bit older. So, and then that's when the prejudice starts forming, and then you really have a difficult time. Like I said, I've probably been there to a worse extent because I have been shunned by society. I went to see the country and help these children and maybe change Vietnam again, but from a humanitarian side rather than a military side. It was much more rewarding, and I think we can accomplish a lot more. It's grown exponentially over the years, and I'm honored to be a part of it. I don't care where they go, to what countries they go, I want to go. You know, and so going back to Vietnam didn't make any difference to me historically, but it meant a lot to me because of the mission of going back to Vietnam and helping these children. You just grow as a person. Yeah. Whatever you experience changes you. I am more compassionate with everything. Yeah, I get frustrated with people who can't come out of their house because they have a pimple on their cheek. That upsets me. Because if they worry about that with them, imagine what they worry about when they see me, you know. And that's what these children will be faced with if they're not helped. Some boy in the Philippines, and I can't remember his name for the life of me, but I'll never forget him, had a horrible disfigurement, but was the happiest-go-luckiest kid I think I have ever met in my life, prior to the surgery. And I said, well, now this fellow's teaching a 54-year-old kid how to get along. You know, I worried about my first impressions with people. This kid could care less. He was like 5, 6 maybe. He could care less. He just was going to go about his business. He's going to do what he done. So it taught me, you know, you asked me over the time, have I learned? And I have. I've learned society's bad side, but I've learned a lot of society's good side too. And the ability to change the lives of not only the babies, but the whole country, that appeals to me. But like I say, I come at this from a whole different side. The people who should be commended are the other volunteers who don't have a personal connection other than the humanitarian connection to want to help people. It changes the children, it changes the families, it changes the country, but it changes the person. It makes us all better people for helping others, I think.